bright future. We're talking real money.
It's the show that helps you make more money, take less risk, and not make yourself crazy, but within reason. We don't promise you're going to get rich quickly with no risk. No, we just know that there are ways that you can, or at least would have been in the past, able to make a little more, take a little less risk, but it requires controlling things like your emotions. I'm Don. Tom is over there, right there. See, I'm looking right at him, except we're 3,000 miles apart. I'm where it's warm, you're where it's cold, and where it's going to be even colder. Let's see, this show will air on as a podcast on Wednesday, which means I'll be in packing my winter clothing mode. I'll be putting in the giant Christmas Story snowsuit. Yeah, you might as well shoot me in the snowsuit. You know the one where you can't move your arms? I can't move my arms. You know that one?
Yes, that's a good movie. And by the way, you already destroyed everybody's program talking about the flap earlier.
I'm not going. There's no flap in this hour. There's no flap in this hour or episode.
Yeah.
By the way, we had a call in the last hour or episode, yesterday's episode or hour, about putting money in a 529 plan, and then whether or not it made more sense to use the money, if it was just $35,000, to use it for education, or to just skip the education and put it into the Roth IRA over the course of a few years as you earn money out of school. I ran the numbers. If you put this money into a growth-oriented mutual fund of some sort that made 8% per year, starting at 18, you start putting it in, and you didn't take it out for 47 years.
Till they're 65.
65, 40, yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
yeah.
65.
Yeah, really old. Yeah.
Really old. Almost $1.25 million at 8%.
Wow.
At 8% per year.
Which should be enough to buy you a Snickers bar in 47 years.
Now, if we use Dave Ramsey's number, which he claims it's easy to make 12% per year.
Oh, yeah. Sign me up.
Try $7.5 million.
I'll go with Dave then. Give me his number. It's 12%, dude.
I'm going with Dave.
Not dumb.
Oh,
come on.
Yeah, well, you sound like somebody who could fall for a Ponzi scheme. 855-935-TALK is our phone number. We do have lots of lines available. We were really busy with calls last hour, but now it's fine. You can just get right in. 855-935-8255. Now, there are lists. There are so many lists in the media. Lists of the best. You know, you got the best hospitals and the best advisors and the best restaurants and, you know, the best mutual funds, the best mutual fund companies, the best mutual fund managers. And a best list was just published, and Tom has it hot off the press in actual paper form.
This is from Barron's, and that would be in paper form.
Yeah.
I mean, Barron's actually still publishes.
Well, I read it in electronic form, though.
Count this down. J.P. Morgan Asset Management, number 5.
Wait. Okay.
Capital Group.
Wait. Hold on. We got to get this. Hold on. J.P. Morgan. That's a brokerage firm. So those are loaded funds.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
loaded.
About half a $1 trillion.
Okay.
Too.
J.P. Morgan is number 5 commissioned funds. Got it. Go.
And the list is longer than that, but I'm just
we're
counting down the top 5.
Okay, who's
Capital Group? You know them.
American
the operators
funds.
Of American Funds.
Yep. All actively managed.
Did you know they had $2.2 trillion in the American funds?
Tells you how big Edward Jones is.
Crazy. That's crazy. Then there are our friends at V for Victory Capital Management. Gotta love that name. I love that name.
You love the
Sign
name,
me up
but
for that.
you didn't know who they were.
I did not.
They were the people. USAA decided they really should not be in the business of running mutual funds, which was a good decision on their part. So Victory Capital Assets, Capital Holdings, whatever, they took over the USAA funds, and that's made them a big old.
But number one. They were number 5 last year, but they're number 1 now.
Wait a minute. You were 3. You were 5, 4, 3. Did we miss somebody in there?
J.P. Morgan Capital. Oh, you're right. This is not what I do, apparently, really well.
He's bad at lists.
Number 3 was Newberger.
Newberger and Berman. Good old Newberger and Berman.
I forgot him, man. I feel bad. Here's the envelope. Number 1. I remember them. Dimensional Fund Advisors.
We like them. Wait.
Only for 25 years.
Yeah, there's a no load sort of passive-ish.
And we'll talk about why in a moment. You find out why.
I'm so proud of DFA. They made it
too.
Their number 1. But the truth is in the why. The reality is in the why. And we're going to tell you about the why right after this.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
In medicine, a second opinion might save your life. With investing, a second opinion might save your future. The trick is getting one without a high-pressure sales pitch. Well, I'm Don McDonald, and if you've been listening to Talking Real Money, you know that our goal is to help everyone create a brighter future by investing and managing money better. That's why, in addition to helping everyone on our show and podcast, we are also committed to making our 100% fiduciary advisors at Appella available to help everyone make the best financial decisions based on science. So if you're being pitched a financial product or a system, make sure you get a second opinion with no cost, no obligation, and no annoying sales pitch by going to TalkingRealMoney.com or call 800-386-3004. That's 800-386-3004 or TalkingRealMoney.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
Now, we're really excited because one of the funds we like, one of the fund groups we like a lot is dimensional funds. We like them. We like Dimensional. We like Avantis. We like Vanguard. We like Fidelity because, well, for a lot of reasons, but one of the biggest reasons is because they do rules-based or index-based investing, and they have low costs. They're also well-diversified. Now, Tom had mentioned the Victory Group. Victory Capital Management is one of the groups that was in the top 5. And I looked up a Victory Capital broadly diversified equity fund. The Victory Munder Multi-Cap C shares. I used the C shares for a reason because we want to compare apples to apples. And a C share doesn't have an upfront commission. It just has annual expenses.
Trailing.
Compared with the Dimensional Core Equity 2.
Yeah.
Hold on. I think I put the wrong Dimensional.
Well, you can buy that in an ETF now. That
exactly.
I think is
you can get it in
a DFAC. Yeah, DFAC.
DFAC. Oh, good. I had the right symbol.
Yep.
Okay. I just want to make sure I didn't have the wrong.
Did you say the Munsters have a mutual fund company?
The Munders.
What?
The Munders.
Oh, the Munders. Okay.
So here's one of the reasons why we get so excited about these lower cost options, because if your broker, and by the way, these are broker sold, these Victory Munder products, if your broker sold you the C shares, now you're thinking, oh, I didn't pay an upfront commission. Well, the broker got a commission, trust me, because the Victory Munder Multi-Cap C-Share Fund has an annual expense ratio of 2.16%.
Oh, goodness.
The Dimensional U.S. Core Equity 2 ETF, which is
0.3?
0.19.
Oh, 19. Pardon me.
0.19.
Throwing a little something on there for myself, I guess.
And the Dimensional Fund skews slightly toward value. It's almost exactly the same market capitalization as the Victory Munder, but it skews a little more value, while the Victory Munder skews a little more growth. And the other big difference, love this part. The Victory Munder has 90 stocks in the portfolio. The Dimensional has 2,700 in the portfolio.
And think that through for just a minute. 90 stocks, 27.
2,700.
Right. Which is less risky?
2,700.
Has to be.
Wait, and 2.16% versus a little less than 0.2%. Wait, isn't that other one 10 times more expensive?
Yeah, it is. Okay, but let's just go back to this survey, because this is these surveys, and when you see the top financial advisors, And it just drives me nuts because it's not saying much. And this survey is not saying much either, because here's why. While Dimensional is a very fine, fun family, truly is. And on top of the things that Don mentioned, I was going to say the other reason that I've liked them for 25 plus years is they're ethical. It's an ethical organization. They have from time to time just randomly reduced fees when they looked at their operation so we could take less in. They do a lot of other things I think are very ethical. But the reason that they got picked by Barron's is, guess what? Their style of management outperformed last year.
And it didn't.
Small value.
Didn't in like the 5 previous years.
I know. So guess what? They moved them to number 1. That's what I'm talking about. These surveys are meaningless.
Yep.
You should never, I'm going to go buy some of those because of the survey.
They're all
I'm going to hire this guy
looking.
because of those. Yeah, exactly. It's not going to help you at all.
Everything is backward looking. That's why we say.
I love this. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I said that's why we say when we're talking about returns were blank. We don't know what they are or what they will be. There's no present or future tense when it comes to returns.
The other reason that Barron select them is known for their roots in academic research, factor investing, value investing, a tendency to favor small companies. But as such, says the article, the firm sidestepped the meltdown in mega cap growth names. Well, that's not entirely true anyway, because they have some of their funds hold those mega caps. They don't hold them in the percentages that you get in the Munder fund. Because they don't.
Victory number 3 then? Did they tell you why Victory was number 3?
Victory is number 2. Newberger was number 3.
Why were they number 2?
I didn't read that.
After
you win,
argument,
does anybody?
That argument is spurious because they basically say, well, DFA did really well because they did something totally different, but Victory did really well because they did the same old thing.
You're number 1 or you're nothing. I mean, the reality now these are meaningless. I'm glad for Dimensional. Because yes, Dimensional is a fun family you should use. And by the way, you don't even need an advisor. Back in the old days, you had to have an advisor to get access. Right. Now that they're exchange traded funds, you can buy them on your own. It's
you
great,
can
fun
absolutely get them wherever stocks are sold.
Available
wherever
today.
Finer stocks are sold.
No commissions, very low expenses.
Well, okay.
Academic research. Yeah.
Excuse me.
It makes sense.
If you go to a full commission brokerage firm, you will pay commissions.
Oh, by the way, we got an update on. Remember, you were talking about Merrill Lynch told them he couldn't.
Merrill Lynch told them they couldn't use AVGE.
No, I contacted our people at Avantis and they said they're on the approved list at Merrill Lynch. So
maybe it was a Merrill run 401. That may,
or maybe the guy at Merrill said you can't.
No, because it was a written thing. She sent me the actual written form.
Well, you should send that to me. I'll send it on to our friends
list,
at Avantis.
It may have been a 401k. That's distinctly possible.
That might be different.
Maybe.
Well, because they only have a very few mutual funds, and you can't have an ETF and a 401k.
Well, they let them have VT
in the 401k
in whatever this account is.
That would surprise me because of the structure. Remember, we've learned that. Basically, you can't do that.
But I'm going to check it out. We'll get more details. Always checking things out. We're always looking for something new to report.
And apparently you're not because you haven't called.
You're
not
who?
looking for anything new. Nobody's called us. Nobody's looking for anything new.
They're not, but we are.
No,
I didn't say they were.
No, I was saying they were.
And by the way, I want to apologize. At the beginning of the program, the phone lines were not switched properly. So if you tried calling a little over an hour ago, try now.
You got Debbie instead?
855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255.
Debbie's on the first call, still talking to them after an hour and a half.
Debbie just left with the puppy. With the new
to go
puppy.
Get a new fur coat?
No, she took
Seattle?
Yeah, no. She took the puppy to visit a friend to get it out of the house because every once in a while the puppy. We have an older dog, almost 12-year-old golden doodle, and the puppy who is now almost at 12 weeks, not 12 years, big gap there, wants to get the older dog to play all the time.
It ain't happening.
And the older dog does that sound.
Not doing it.
When the dog does to the puppy goes into
and then
as loud as
that goes on the show, and then you don't like the background.
Right, goes on the show. So Debbie kindly took the dog away. So now you can call us in peace.
Right now. Get in right now.
855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255. And by the way, you can call that number 24/7 too if you don't get in during the show. But the best time to talk to us is when we're actually live now.
Tom and Don are talking real money. For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
And apparently a little begging will get you everywhere. 855-935-TALK. Don,
just wait.
Don McDonald here, Tom Cock over there, and Marcia on the phone. Marcia, welcome to Talking Real Money.
Hi, thank you. Can you hear me?
Thanks for calling. I can. Thanks.
Awesome.
Oh, you're listening to us on the radio. Yeah, don't listen to us on the
Yes.
radio because we have a delay in case you say a bad word.
Oh, okay.
Or Don
Oh,
does.
I
Or
see.
Don
Either
does.
way.
Or Don does. I just turned it off then. Hey, so I am a 62-year-old who's retiring, and I am trying to figure out who's the best person to give me advice for retirement. Is it a CPA? Is it a CPA who does taxes? Is it a fiduciary advisor? Is it I don't want to use, I want to get things set up, but then I want to maybe check in every couple of years, but I don't want somebody monitoring all the time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
But I
don't.
But I want to,
Yeah.
I have Merrill Lynch accounts, I have Fidelity accounts, I have a
Yeah.
CPA, but I don't think he's a tax CPA, a planner tax.
Well,
CPA.
but yeah, most CPAs are not financial. Most CPAs, a lot of them are, but I would hazard to guess that most CPAs are not financial planners. That's not their primary job. So that's where you want to go. Is you want to go to somebody who can create you a financial plan. Now, if you don't need ongoing advice, then what you need is for something, you pay somebody to create a plan.
And those people certainly exist. There's fiduciary advisors that will charge you a reasonable amount, put the plan together, say, go do this, this, and this, and you go on your way.
Yeah, financial plans are like $1,000 to $3,000.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, you get the plan, you follow the plan, you can go back. You tend to go back to the plan when things start to get a little weird. You've got to stick with the plan. The plan's going to give you some income ideas and show you about where you are, but you're going to have to tweak the portfolio along the way, I guess is what I'm saying.
And you've got some decisions to make at 62 as to when to claim Social Security, where to draw money from to pay for your retirement, some things like that should be worked out in advance. And as Don correctly points out, a plan will keep you on the rails because things will come along. Your life will change. The world you will think will be changing. All those things come at you in retirement. And you want to be able to go back to that and say, no, I've agreed to do it this way and I'm going to stick with it.
Yeah, my smart aleck response when you said, who should I talk to? I was just going to say Tom. But you need a true fiduciary to help you put the plan together. Do not get a financial plan from a Merrill Lynch or an Edward Jones or an Ameriprise. You could from a Fidelity because Fidelity has 100% fiduciary. I think they have 100% fiduciary advisors. Do they? No,
I don't know.
Maybe not because I
know.
don't know. Sometimes they sell commission products, so you got to be careful. Anybody who can sell commission products cannot always be acting as a fiduciary. They just can't.
That's what I'm looking for. And I'm not sure how do I find that?
Well, you go to talkingrealmoney.com/help, and we've got, not only do we have tools to help you find fiduciary advisors, we even have a list. You're in the Seattle area, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I'm in Bellingham.
Yeah, there's a list. We've got a list of advisors in the Seattle area that we believe manage money in a similar, not identical fashion to the way we believe it should be managed. So we've got all kinds of resources there. We can show you what a lot of people charge.
It's a new button on the website.
It's
it says
a new
Find a Fiduciary.
button.
Click the button. So you go to talkingrealmoney.com, click on Find a Fiduciary, and you don't even need to know how to spell it. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah, and the stuff there is really, really, there are articles. There's a sheet you can take to people. There are lists of advisors. There's an article from Vanguard about the value of advisors and what kind of advisors you need. Tons and tons of great information. It's free. Nobody's going to ever call you and try to pitch you anything ever.
And if you're not signed up already, you should join us for Retire Meet next
good
Saturday
idea.
because you're getting closer to retiring. We'll be walking through a lot of these things about retirement income, Social Security, Medicare, long-term care, all that kind of fun stuff
Yeah.
you need to think about in retirement. That's next Saturday, the 25th, starts at 8 a.m., and you can register for virtual, live, free at retiremeet.com. Hey, squeezed all that in.
Are we oversold, by the way? Do we have like
we
a
are
waiting
on
list?
we do. They're going to set up people here in my office to watch it.
Oh, great, in the aircraft hangar. Cool.
Yep.
That'll be fun.
Tom and Don are talking real money. Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
And we really want to talk with you about your real money issues at 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255. Don McDonald here, Tom Cock over there, you right there, listening to us, we hope. Calling us, we hope for that too. And some people call us when we're not here, like other times. Well, kind of like this.
Hi, guys. I was listening to your podcast on February 5th when you, as the last question of the podcast, you said that payments for household chores couldn't be routed to an Roth. You said you needed a 1099 in order to do that, and that's probably true.
Mm-hmm.
But I issue a 1099 to my landscaping guy every year. And if my son was into landscaping, I might be issuing that to my son, and then he could put it in his Roth up to the annual limit and so forth, of course. Why couldn't the person you were talking to do the same thing? Issue his son a 1099 for the work done, and then file a return showing that his income, and then he could deposit it in his Roth, and there'd probably be no tax on it because he's in such a low tax bracket. But anyway, I was puzzled as to why that was not an option that you brought up.
Well, okay.
Could you comment further on this, please? Thank you.
Sure. Here's the thing. That's one. There's another 150,000 other ways you can cheat on your taxes too, right? That we bring up every week.
Is it
yeah, that is
cheating?
cheating on your. Yeah, it is.
Okay, kinda.
And you're taking a risk. Here's what could happen. Not saying it will.
Mm-hmm.
You could pile money into your kids' Roths every year and write something down on a piece of paper that they did this, blah, 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 blah. And then in 40 years, when those kids have, what did you say the Roth? I mean, the 35,000
At 12%, at 12%, it was $7 million.
$7 million. That, somebody may say, well, wait a minute now. Is that legit? Do you got any records for all? That's possible. I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying it's the same reason that I don't cheat on my taxes, because they might look at it and go, wait a minute, that's not right. I just don't play that game. Somebody else does them. That's all on the up and up. But if you want to play games with all this stuff and pretend that your son's a landscaper and pay them out of your pocket and send it to Roth, go right ahead. I'm not going to stop you, but I don't think it's a great idea. No, I don't.
Okay. Technically, and I'm reading the stuff on this right now, it can. Technically, basically they're saying, yeah, it can't. If they're actually doing something for the money. If it's just an allowance, then no, that is tax fraud if you issue them a 1099.
Your child does something for the money, do you get a 1099 or W-2?
I'm just saying.
I don't think you do. I don't give one out here.
No, but apparently, technically.
Okay, this is great because all these nights my daughter has been unloading the dishwasher and loading the dishwasher. That takes like 2 hours a day, dude. That's a huge undertaking in a household of 3 people. It's massive.
I totally get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying. But the reality is, and I wouldn't do it. I'm with you. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it. Thankfully, all my kids are grown, but I wouldn't feel. Yours is not. You could actually do this. But you're not going to feel good about it. You're not going to feel like you're gaming the system. And one thing we try to never do on this show is to drift off into that gaming the system territory. You notice we don't talk about, if you want to cover yourself when you're old and you need a nursing home, we don't give you strategies for unloading all of your assets to
spending it down and then getting on Medicare.
And then getting on the dole later. While it's legal,
sure,
there are ways to do it. Do we ever suggest it? No. Would we?
There's all kinds of other
dodgy
tax things we could recommend to you too that would save you tax money.
Yeah.
People use them. Certain political leaders have used them. I don't believe in it.
Technically,
so I wouldn't do it.
I'm reading an article right now from Forbes that says, yes, technically, babysitting and lawn mowing money can go into an IRA, but it's important that you've recorded these sources of income in a reliable manner. The date, the client, the service, the amount earned, and you need to keep records of it. But are we going to suggest that on the show? Never. You did.
Sorry.
You did.
Yeah.
We didn't.
Go ahead.
If people want to do it, it's a free country.
Tom and Don are talking real money. Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
If you'd like to call us, it's easy and it's free at 855-935-TALK. Heck, it's free to call anybody anywhere anymore, isn't it? You don't even have to worry about the minutes anymore. Remember those days when you had to worry about the minutes?
Oh yeah. Toll free. Yeah, it was a big deal. Sure.
Been doing some research on this whole concept of paying your child to do work around the house.
Which allows them then to make a Roth
IRA
contribution. Yeah, sure. Okay.
The devil is always in those details, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's some details. Well, there's two ways to pay your child. One, you can set up a small business of yourself. You, your husband, your wife, whomever. Set up a little
Actually
business.
Register a business.
Yeah. It's a sole prop.
Okay.
It's a sole prop, and you can give them W-2 income, but that means you have to withhold taxes and all the other foldy roll. And it's a complicated process to issue W-2s and to do the payroll properly. It's going to cost you some money. Trust me, it'll cost you some money. Or you can issue them a 1099, but the child now has to be an independent contractor, sole proprietorship. Now, they have to file taxes. When they file taxes, there's a little problem. Actually, two. One, as an independent contractor, you as the person paying them can get into trouble if you tell them when to mow the lawn, how to mow the lawn.
Because they're not an independent contractor.
Because they're not an
employee.
And if
they are an employee, yes, under that scenario.
Yeah,
you
so
tell people
if
when
you
to do it.
misclassify an employee as an independent contractor, that is actually a criminal act. It's not a good thing. Now, so let's say you give your kid that money. They make $600 in a year, and they file their little tax return. Oh, my. Guess what they have to do? They have to pay the government 15.3% for Social Security and Medicare as self-employment tax.
Yeah,
they have to. They can't get around that. They can get around the income tax if they don't make enough money. If they make less than the standard deduction.
Can I make a suggestion here?
Doesn't this sound too complicated?
Yeah, just don't do it. I mean, why don't you wait till your kid gets a real job? Really?
Okay.
I mean, is this that important? I mean,
no. I'm sorry, but I want it to be thorough.
And that's good. And you can now take money from the the college 529 savings plan they're not going to use and put it in their Roth once they have real income anyway.
Making some of the point moot.
It's kind of silly. Anyway.
We're human beings. We overthink, Tom. We overthink.
Especially when you want to work your way around. All right,
do you have another question? Yeah,
I do.
We do. We have time.
This comes in from Steve in Jefferson City, M.O., Missouri.
The only Jefferson City I'm aware of is in Missouri, so that's good.
Okay. I was recently listening to your podcast, which I love. I heard you say that American funds are too expensive. I have my retirement 401k with Empower Retirement and the 2040 American Funds Index Fund. Is this too expensive? What about Empower Retirement? And I have issues
with Empower.
Does the American Funds have an index fund?
No.
Well, he said index fund. I don't think they do. They have a.
What year was it?
This is 2040. They have a target date fund of 2040, but I don't think it's an index fund.
I don't think it is either, and I'm not sure which of the R funds that if it's an R fund, which I would assume it's an R fund as
You would
opposed to
think.
an A fund. But, our phone we're getting voicemails again.
So our phone got busted up again.
That's just wacky. Did we go?
So I'm showing the target date A shares at AAGTX.
Yeah, I found the A shares. They're expensive.
Yeah, that's really.
They're 70 basis points. But the R shares, which are the institutionals, which is what I hope they're using, like the R6. But I don't know. See, I honestly don't know. The R6 is 0.36. But the funny thing is the R3 is 1%.
Whew.
So it's all over. Could it be? Is it too expensive? Probably.
Yep.
Probably.
So the question is what to do.
Well, Empower offers Vanguard.
Oh, well, that's easy. Then just if you want to use target date fund, use the Vanguard 2040 target date index fund, which would be cheaper than the American funds.
Let me pull it up.
2040.
Let's see.
And we've got a caller waiting, too, if you want to try to get to him.
Yeah, let's do that while I look this up. All right. I don't know who
David.
it is. Oh, I see it. David. Hey, David, welcome to Talking Real Money.
Hey there. I'm out of Tennessee. I listen to you guys a lot, most of what you say. But one of you there is anti-annuity. And
That'd be me.
I understand that'd be you. Okay. Well, if you have a product that has no fees, no caps, no spreads, and you're risk adverse to loss, why would one not look at that kind of product?
Okay, if somebody wanted, the only reason that I believe, are we talking about? It depends on what kind. We're talking about a income annuity, right?
No, we're talking about an
immediate
index product, indexed annuity.
Oh, well then,
No,
an index annuity. I thought you were saying, let me tell you what's wrong with them. There's no such thing as one with no cap, no participation rate, because there's no way anything can offer you the return of the stock market with no risk. And there are no fees. The fees are the spread. The company takes the spread between what they pay you and what they make on the money.
Okay, but if your participation rate now with interest rates where they are in the 200 to 300% of what the index does.
There's no such thing as a participation rate of 200 to 300% of what the index does. They get to pay you 2 to 3 times the rate of the index? What's the name of this annuity?
Yes.
What's the name of it?
Nationwide New Heights. Nationwide New Heights.
Nationwide.
I don't know how they could do that.
It would be literally impossible to pay somebody 3 times an index. But I'm going to look it up while Tom talks.
We're closing also out the previous question, which was around. Now I've forgotten the whole thing. Don shows you where I'm at.
I'm looking at it all. I'm trying to find it. Nationwide. Come on, index. Hurry up. Give it to me faster.
Said Heights was in the name or something.
New Heights. No, I'm looking it up.
New Heights.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because. Okay, there it is. New Heights selects 10 fixed indexed annuity.
10. There's an 8, a 10-year, a 9-year, and a 12-year.
Yeah. I'm just looking at. I'm just pulling up the 10.
Okay.
What I'm reading here is it says this fixed index annuity offers returns based on the changes in an underlying index, such as the S&P 500 Composite Stock Price Index. So that's the index without dividends. Of course, it doesn't include dividends. It has a surrender charge starting at 10% per year. And it's going to be hard to find the disclosure documents in the time allowed, but I am going to find them because I am about 99.999999999% certain they can't offer 2 to 3 times an index. To be continued. Yes, indeed.
Tom and Don are talking real money. For For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
The last caller on today's podcast, this was recorded on Saturday, was calling about an indexed annuity that he claimed paid 200 and some odd % of the underlying index. It was an annuity from Nationwide, which I didn't have a lot of time to research during the course of the show, so I went back and did a bunch of research, as much as you can do on these products, because they are purposefully designed to confuse everybody. Even the people selling them don't know what they do or how they work. They don't. You can't possibly know because there are way too many variables, and it makes your brain hurt. So I looked this thing up. The Nationwide New Heights Select Fixed Indexed Annuity. Again, designed to totally pull the wool over your eyes. They tell you a lot of cool things like, we're going to give you 8% a year. No, they're going to add 8% a year only if you choose to annuitize it in the future. And they're going to pay you 290% of the underlying index, but it's not any index you've ever heard of. As a matter of fact, the index on which they're paying that was started just last year. So there's no way to know. Plus, there's a deduction and a lot of things that they do. So I went through some of their sales paperwork because I couldn't get the actual rates. I have to be an insurance agent to get them, and I don't want to do that. But they have a chart showing your growth, and in that chart, in the disclaimer info at the very bottom, they say the lifetime payout percentage used to calculate lifetime income is 5.32%. So they're just using a random number to predict this. I found some really important and interesting information in the For Financial Professionals Only, but you should be able to read this, I would think. It's the Nationwide New Heights Fixed Indexed Annuity Rate Sheet. Now, they give you these 200+% rates on things like the Goldman Sachs New Horizons or the JP Morgan Mosaic Index or the New York Stock Exchange Zebra Edge 2 Index. That's where you get these high rates. When you use a normal index, though, if you were to choose a normal index, here's where the true tale is told. If you use the S&P 500 as your index, your payout is 55% of the return of the index over a particular period, but less 1.95%. So now if you're thinking, oh, well, okay, I'll get 55% of a 10 or 11% average annual return for the S&P 500, think again. Because they only give you the growth in the index, not the dividends of the index. And over the past 60 years, the S&P 500 without dividends has returned about 7.5%. So when we take 7.5% and deduct the strategy spread, which is 1.95%, we get about 5.45 or 5.55%. So you'd get 55% of 5.55%. In other words, you're going to get a little over 2.5% a year. Now, does that sound like getting the return of the market with no risk? Yeah, now remember, in bad years, you will not go down. Yay! But you're not going to get the return of the index with no risk. Now, on the MSCI EAFE index, which is overseas, the payout's a little bit higher, but that's because the returns have not been historically as good, and they can change these index allocations regularly. So, once again, indexed annuities are designed to confuse. They are purposefully created to baffle you with BS. This one is no different. It just has some numbers that look more attractive, but when you dig down deep and you look at actual returns, you're going to find that your average annual return can only be about 3 to maybe 5% per year, best case. and you are giving your money up. You're giving someone a huge commission, and I don't care what these liars say, they get a huge commission because your surrender fee in year one for some of these is 9%. Oh, and by the way, it just fails the logic test. Let's say you got 290% of an index that returned 8% per year. Do you actually think anybody's going to pay you 23% per year on your money? Come on. That's a Madoff type number. This is all an illusion, and that's what indexed annuities are. They're all an illusion. So that's the addition to this podcast. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate you. I'm Don, Talking Real Money.
We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for informational, educational, and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. Providing personalized financial planning or investing advice takes time, so please consult with a really good fee-only fiduciary investment, tax, or legal advisor. We know a good one. Investing must always involve risk. In other words, you can and probably will lose money at times. Also, as much as you want it, no one can accurately and consistently predict the future, so past performance doesn't tell you a darn thing about what the future will bring. Unlike many other programs that say something similar, Talking Real Money is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Appella Capital, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and disclosures. That should keep the lawyers happy.